Hello everyone, this is Meghna, the owner of Cakealicious, the most beautiful cakes in town. We all know that a cake is the centerpiece of any celebration. Through my cakes, I always strive to make those moments even more special. Thank you and have a Cakealicious day.
Speechcraft's public speaking program is one of its kind workshop where you can not only overcome hesitation and stage fright, but also learn the techniques of preparing an effective and impressive speech. We train students, ladies, entrepreneurs to become eloquent and confident speakers.
Hello everyone, and a very warm welcome to this new concept of She the Boss series, an interactive initiative by FICCI Flow Indore. A very good evening to each one of you. Chairperson Riya Chhabra and Team 2021 propose to provide a common platform to all Flow members to share their professional expertise and business entities. This unique concept envisages the idea to represent before each one of you the empowered and extremely skilled group of Flow members our Indore chapter has. I am Beetu Kohli, Senior Vice Chair, Flow Indore, and I feel totally privileged to open this very first session of She the Boss initiative today. We will continue with many more sessions in the coming weeks too. All successful women are known to follow 3 C's in their life: choices, chances, and changes. And I have with me today 4 such powerful, determined Flow women who did not hesitate to make new choices, risk chances to bring commendable changes in their life. They are all veterans in their businesses and very accomplished professionals today. And we are so proud to have them in our Flow fraternity. A very warm and hearty welcome to Meghna Sethi, Prachi Kasliwal Dashora, architect Shruti Purohit, and Shweta Khandelwal on Flow She the Boss platform today. Hello ladies, welcome.
Hi, and thank you so much.
Thank you.
We are so glad you could all make on this platform today. So guys, let's start. Meghna, the creative mind behind the dream of establishing gastronomically and visually gratifying bakery venture Cakealicious. Our own dear Flow member, Meghna Sethi. Started in 2011, this personalized cake studio was one of the first of its kind in the city, introducing Indorians to a cosmopolitan culture of designer cakes that not only look gorgeous, they taste heavenly too. And I can vouch at some point in time, most of us have indulged in this savory sins from Cakealicious. And if you have not, you are missing something. Meghna has enticed the sweet tooth of the people of our city and proved her expertise as a skilled baker. And we are proud to have Meghna as a part of our Flow family. A very warm welcome to you, Meghna.
Thank you so much, Meetu. Thank you so much, FICCI Flow, for giving me this opportunity. I'm really very grateful for this moment.
It's our pleasure always. Meghna, your fancy, delicious cakes always add a sparkle to any celebration. Just tell us when or how did it happen that you dreamt of being a baker?
Okay, so I'm a science graduate by the qualification, education qualification, and then I did 2 years diploma in computer designing, and then one entrepreneurship program from ISB Hyderabad. But this was around 2011 when we shifted back from USA for good, and I was not ready to work in the office, leaving two kids behind. Uh, so I want to do something from my home. So then one fine day, my husband Siddharth suggested me, why don't you start making cakes, some different cakes, because I'm from a create, like I'm a very creative person. So that is why he told me then why you don't start with the cakes. So initially, it seems little funny to me, as already renowned bakeries were there, and I thought, who will buy any cakes from a home baker? But then I thought maybe I'll give it a try. So I soon myself getting more engrossed with designing cakes and making them much more beautiful than what you would see in the market. The sense of that fulfillment I experienced after every cake I designed, and the positive feedback I received from those who experienced them made me realize that I wanted to pursue baking seriously. And I honestly believe that it was the designing that chose me rather than the other way around. So,
So that's a surprise to us that you've not even trained for being a baker.
yes, I'm a self taught baker. And till now, I just learn things on my own. And this is how I'm doing it.
So we can say that you were destined to be a baker, if not trained.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
So well said, and all the best wishes, Vigna.
Thank you
Your
so,
cakes actually make a difference.
thank you so much.
Now we have Prachi Kasliwal Dashor. Prachi is a modern entrepreneur and a compassionate learner. She is very passionate about early childhood education and works on translating learning into practical teaching strategies. At Sheringwood, she leads the creation of transformative learning experiences that mold children into lifelong learners and equip them with critical skills for success. Under her excellent leadership and meticulous management style, Sheringwood has grown by leaps and bounds and has touched the lives of almost around 800 students till date. A mother of two lovely kids, who still looks like a child to us only, she has introduced Sheringwood as a happy learning destination for all children. Prachi, it's been 8 years. Sheringwood is running successfully
Yes.
now.
Yes. Yeah.
And I think the school has actually changed the definition of early education in Indore.
I'm so glad to hear that. I'm
No,
so glad to hear.
of course, because so many of our friends' children have been a part of Sheringwood, and the experience has always been wonderful.
Thank you.
So we would all like to know about this journey of yours, this journey into the field of education, the challenges you faced. What was the inspiring things which made you move forward?
So the journey, to be honest, has been nothing less than a roller coaster ride. Just like Meghna, being a new entrant in an already well-established industry wasn't easy. We had our own set of challenges, but that is what has given us the energy to successfully run in the past 8 years. Giving the best education and exposure to our student has been our sole motto in this overly competitive industry. We are a totally non-profit organization, and our aim is to provide children with education that a child would probably get in London or in Sydney or in New York. We are a big happy family now. We are all ready to transform the traditional education pedagogy to a modern one. We started with just 3 classroom, 8 students and 4 staff members. And now Sheringwood, like Neetu said, has around 800 students and 3 campuses. I absolutely feel blessed that God has given me this opportunity to touch little hearts. And, it's an overwhelming feeling when you actually see all these children grow into wonderful, well-educated, looking forward to their journey called life. It just makes me so glad that God has given me this opportunity and we entered into this industry. So I'm really, really happy.
But what was that one instant where you felt that you should start a play school? Because it is a big responsibility.
Yes, it is. It is. Honestly, the inspiration was my daughter, because when I was in fact pregnant with her, I actually, that's when I started looking for schools and the education prospects of early childhood learning. And my husband, he's from Australia, so we both were literally getting into this, and we thought that there was a certain gap in the modern education that we wanted our child to have. And it was literally because of her that we literally decided to start Sharingwood with the modern thought process.
I absolutely agree. And right now I'm thinking, if my children would have been younger, they would have also enjoyed Sharingwood.
Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you so much, Prachi.
Thanks.
Most of us must have wowed the new stylish makeover at our own favorite Chappan Dukan. I think we all have seen the way Chappan Dukan has been transformed. And I'm so glad to announce that our own floor member, Shruti Purohit, is the architect behind it. You feel so proud when you go there to know that you know somebody who's done such an amazing work at that place. Shruti, hats off to you.
Thank you. Thank you, Meghna.
Shruti has been awarded the Woman Architect of 2019 and many other accolades. Her creations are featured in famous magazines like MGS Architecture, BuildCon Architecture, AB Magazine, and many digital platforms like Engage Architecture, Casanona, and a few more. Apart from high-end bungalows, house projects, Shruti has been contributing through her work expertise in variety of projects ranging from commercial, institutional, government, and some very interesting projects like making the IT Park Indore, beautifying the Chappan Dukan, and restoration projects. Shruti is a musician and poet by heart, and her creativity blooms through a plethora of other domains. We are so glad to have you here with us, Shruti.
Thank you so much, Meghna. And in fact, I'm really happy to be here sharing this platform with all of you. And it is such a, I can see so much of energy here, which can keep us motivated. And yeah, tell me.
So I have this very, very basic and simple question for you, which everybody must be eager to know, that although, designing dream homes can be a profession everybody might want to aspire. But what was your inspiration? How did you go into architecture and interior designing? Because it all looks very flowery and beautiful from outside.
Yeah. That's a very, correct point you pinpointed rather. Architecture is a combination of arts and sciences, I would say. And since the beginning, I was, very clear in my mind that I wanted to pursue something which has, analytical bent of mind and has some portion of art content also in it. And for this, I would give credit to my family because my father was an Indian classical vocalist and my mother somehow had a very good balance of her interest in subjects of sciences as well as arts. So somewhere it must have come from there. And when I got to know, we were living in a very, very small town. So we hardly knew anything about architecture, but somehow when I got to know, I thought, okay, this is the one I want to do because I was also keen in things like, drawing, painting. So I thought this is going to really satisfy both the aspects. And by God's grace, I got into the College of Architecture where I wanted to go. I studied, then I did my post-graduation in urban planning from SP in New Delhi. After doing all this, I worked in cities like Bangalore, Bhopal. I worked in Hong Kong also for a while. And but I was too sure that I wanted to have my own practice because my husband is in merchant navy and most of the time he's away, he's sailing. So having your own practice gives you, some sort of flexibility. Of course, you're all the time on your toes, but at the same time, you can manage things the way you want. So that is what brought me to Indore.
And believe me, no one knew me here. I didn't know anyone, but that's how, I founded this company after coming back I was in Bangalore and then I shifted here to Indore in 2006, and I founded 9squares in 2008. And it has been a very, very exciting journey of 12 years so far. And by God's grace, we have a very, very diverse portfolio, which has variety of projects, right from bungalows, interiors, office interiors, to large scale projects like IT park or institutional buildings, schools, and very challenging projects of public realm, like the space making or redevelopment of Chappan area, wherein you are really responsible for the entire city. Or like, for example, we are also doing redevelopment of Nehru Park, which has been there for years. So many childhood, people have nostalgia with that. So we have to revive that. And we also got to do interesting projects like restoration of a few of the temples, which are almost 200, 250 years old in Rajwada area. So those were again very different but challenging jobs. And when you do any different variety of project, you have it's a learning process. You have to learn so much. The entire journey is very exciting and beautiful, and I feel it becomes totally a world in itself, the project. And that is what, and of course I would say for any setup, whether it is architectural practice or anything else, you have to have a good team behind you. And I'm really thankful to all the people who have been associated with 9squares journey, and we are on our way. Thank you.
No, definitely. And when you say this, that the whole world comes, because the way you work, it shows in when you make your work your whole world. It always reflects how you do it. So and you should not say that no one knew you, because now I think everyone knows you. And basically me and Shruti belong to the same working fraternity, and I can vouch the amount of respect she gets in the community.
Thank you, Meetu.
Due to the kind of work you do, Shruti. Best wishes.
Thanks.
Now we have Shweta with us. Shweta Khandelwal. Shweta is an educator and a soft skill trainer for the past 19 years. Through her organization, Speechcraft, she is into training both students and executives in public speaking, language enhancement, and life skills. She is also a certified career counselor, holding workshops in various schools of Indore like Emerald Heights, GD Goenka, and Progressive School. Shweta beholds the repute of adding grace and style in anyone's personality. And once we will all hear her speak, you will truly justify what I wish to say and how well she does her job. Hi, Shweta.
Hi, thank you for I feel very overwhelmed by your introduction.
Shweta, whenever I talk to you, I always say you are in the right profession.
Oh, thank you.
By the way, Shweta is joining us from Agra right now, and me and Shweta, me and Shweta both share the same hometown, and I'm feeling so jealous. She's sitting there right now.
Yeah.
So Shweta, how are things in Agra?
Agra, it's pretty good, and to be with family after a long lockdown is really nice. And having a picnic, I would say.
I know. But in Indore, we have weather for a good picnic.
Yes.
Okay. So Shweta, my first question to you is, the concept of career counseling, this personal grooming, etiquette training was actually a very, very novel idea for the city of Indore, especially when you started, I think, 2012.
Yes.
So what was the motivation which made you pursue something so different?
So Meetu, actually, I've been in the field of education, like you said, for the past 19 years. And in this whole journey where I started with Shishu Kunj they had just, from their inception and the journey continued, after that I joined professional tutorials and Indira School of Management, and I moved on to Prestige. So, it's a long journey where I started from the toddlers and moved on to the MBA. And so I've had the entire gamut of, teaching different age groups. Now, when I was teaching English and communication skills, I observed that most of the children, no matter how good they were in their respective fields or how good they were academically, there was something lacking in their personality. They could not really converse, interact, and put forth their ideas the way they should, in an eloquent and confident manner. And after teaching for almost 15 years, I realized that now it is time to do something where most of the children are lacking. We have to work on their personalities. So I realized that we have to do something in the field of public speaking. Now, when it comes to debates, elocutions, things like that, I realized that there were children who were participating, and most of the schools do have competitions, but nowhere were they taught the techniques of how to speak or how to draft their ideas in a structured manner. And so what happened is that most of the times when they were speaking or when they were putting out for their ideas, it's all over. It was very haywired. So I realized that they need to be taught how to structure their ideas in a cohesive manner. Then there are so many other things of speaking, when to pause, when to emphasize, how to modulate, how to maintain an eye contact. So these were the things that they were not taught in school, but every time there was a competition, the children were expected to know this, right? And so the children were either taking the help of their parents, just doing a cut, copy, paste in terms of the content. So I realized that they need to be taught how to speak more eloquently. That's for the students. Now, gradually we realized that speaking is not really just restricted to student life. It is something which manifests in the lives of each and every person. So whether it is women who are, maybe even they are, if or their social, various social platforms like or any other Rotary. So they need to on the podium many occasions. Then there are entrepreneurs who have to pitch for their products, who have to give presentations, who have to deal with the clients. So there also they need the technicalities and they need the nitty-gritties of how to speak properly and how to overcome their hesitation. See, at the end of it, public speaking is a skill. And like any other skill, it needs to be honed. It needs to be cultivated and worked upon. So Speechcraft gives them a platform where they speaking, and then they can continue honing their skill till the time they are confident enough to go out in the open.
Shweta, I never knew there is so much to speaking than just speaking. I guess no one of us have been trained for that. You might get some new good students now, Shweta.
I would love to have.
All right. So now, Prachi, we have a question for you now.
Yes.
As we all know that Sharingwood has, doing its great part in contribution. But how do you think the school has contributed in changing the entire face of the early primary education in our city? Because we already have plenty of play schools. Indore is a small town.
Yes, I agree. I'll tell you what, whatever we teach or tell our student comes from a very well-researched material that is actually being used globally across all the schools. We are a part of top educational bodies like the NAEYC or the International Reading Association, HighScope, So we take a lot of material from them. We attend a lot of their training program. Their trainers actually come and teach our teachers how to conduct. And so early childhood learning is not just making kids, we have actually changed the definition of a play school. We're not a play school. We take early childhood learning really seriously, and it is very scientific as well. I usually say that you know, when our children grow, we want them to be really confident. We want them to, like how Shweta had just mentioned, that you know,
Right.
we throw competitions at them and then we expect them to perform really well. But what we do at Sharingwood is we train them from the beginning. Okay, so all these concepts of whether it is of maths or English or even our languages, like we actually take French and Sanskrit at a very young age. So we start at junior KG level. Now, a lot of parents and a lot of members of my own fraternity have questioned me a lot of times at this, but children are they're like sponge. So they can absorb everything. You know, they learn with such ease when we're teaching them days of the week in French, or when we're teaching them shlokas in Sanskrit. They take it with such ease, and that is where we get an advantage. And honestly, that has been one of the places where Sharingwood actually becomes a league apart from the other schools of the same level.
Absolutely. And you know, even I've heard that the first 5 years of a child are the years
Yes.
when whatever goes in stays there forever.
Absolutely. So I usually say that we look for ripe sweet mangoes, but we don't look at the tree. At
Oh.
Sharingwood, we start looking at the soil directly.
So nicely put up. Now I think people will really take care of how to, you know, how and different ways to educate young children.
That's right. Thank you.
Okay, Shruti, now my next question is to you. You have been working under many government projects, as you said, and that definitely is a world of bureaucrats and politicians. How do you think you are able to manage this as a woman? You know, there are challenges which we all know.
It's a very interesting question, I must say. See, what I feel, the way society sees women, they want to confine them to certain scale. ये इतना ही अच्छा कर सकती है, इतना बड़ा कर सकती है. But to me, the way I see it, you know, riding a bicycle or flying an aeroplane, both require same kind of attitude. You should have the passion to learn it. You should have the caliber to, you know, do it, and you should have been technically trained to do it. So it's up to you what you really want to do and how you want to pursue it. I wouldn't deny there aren't challenges, because if we are talking about this field itself, architecture, going out, meeting people, whether it is for a government project or even for a large scale real estate project, and I would not deny even for a bungalow project, it gets really, really demanding, because it is the entire, you know, it's the ambition of the entire family put up in that house. So you have to really satisfy everyone. But it goes similar for large scale projects also. And yes, you have to work harder, you have to prove yourself. And in government projects, what requires is a lot of patience, perseverance, and you have to be, you have to have a good team to be able to deliver the project timely, and take those challenges and pressure as well. Because in government, many times it happens the projects are, you know, the planning for the project may go on for months or years, but suddenly they will come up one day with a decision. Okay, it has to be done. Like Chappan was decided suddenly, okay, it has to be done in 56 days. Now, no one is prepared. But you have to have that, you know, strength in you and the team behind you, that you can work day and night. You can have long working hours in your studio and you can deliver it. You have that conviction. I mean, there are many times when you are in a meeting or in a site visit, you're the only woman amongst maybe 50, 100 people. And there are laborers also, all sorts of people you have to handle. So I think it is more about our attitude, how we handle it. Otherwise, to me, and I have never seen anything that this can be done and this cannot be done. So anything which comes under this, I would say, in the view of architecture, interior designing, urban planning, I think it's all for us to how we handle it, how we take the opportunity, and how we prove ourselves. And I'll add 2 lines here. कैसे आकाश में सुराग हो नहीं सकता, एक पत्थर तो तबीयत से उछालूं यारो. So if we have that kind of attitude, I think it's up to us what we want to do in our lives.
Wow. So well said. And I think, professions are no more, bifurcated by a male and a female. They are professions now. An architect is an architect. So it doesn't matter if it's...
I would also like to add one thing. Many times we have to unwoman ourselves.
Very true.
You know?
True. Yeah.
It's not a regular term, but I was just, we tend to bifurcate too much what you said. We are women, they are men. You have to become a human being. You have to remove that tag and work with that kind of perspective. Everything is possible.
Absolutely. And this COVID has made many things more possible for both men and women. So, Ben sharing the household work is an example that nothing is now, being partialized between the different sexes. All right, Meghna, coming back to you, the beautiful video which is just showed, they had such beautifully made delicious cakes. They were looking very delicious. So we just want to have a glimpse of what are the best products you offer at Cakelicious, and what are those qualities which make you so different and unique among so many other professional bakers in the city now.
Yeah, so I can say the highly customized cakes, sculpted cakes, designed beautifully with a deep understanding of the person and situation is what I do best. Like whether it is a building, whether it is a glass, it is a bottle or a hanging purse, whatever you can think of, I can make that in a cake. And so just want to make the most beautiful cakes in the world. This is my thing.
We saw that because in the video which you showed, there was a cake of, I think, a poha made, or
Indori. It was the Indori theme, the poha with the bhaskar and a chai, that chai ka cup.
Yeah.
So,
and it was definitely looking so real. It was not looking like a cake. So, full marks to you for creativity and, I think making your customer happy.
Yeah, thank you so much. So basically all my products are egg free without any compromise in taste. So Cakelicious focuses on designer 3D cakes for every occasion, whether it's a birthday or anniversary or a wedding or any Valentine or Rakhi, anything. And to satisfy the tooth in you, sweet tooth in you, we also curate indulging desserts like French entremets, French macaroons, marshmallow, nougat, gourmet cookies, just to name a few. So these desserts that are always associated with the eggs are now egg-free reality at Cakelicious.
Now you are tempting us all, and plus, you've just mentioned this. How has been being an eggless baker a challenge? That also, I think, because it's been very recent that eggless cakes have become like a passion for people. Yeah.
Yes, very true. So when I started, I thought it was like that. Nobody goes for proper only eggless baking stores or eggless baking cakes. That was a big challenge for me at that time when I started this. But now I'm totally enjoying, and people are also loving it. I'm providing everything eggless to them. Whatever they can think of, I can make that thing in eggless. That is my passion.
I can understand, because my mom till date doesn't believe that a cake can be eggless. She doesn't eat, and I think next cake she's going to eat it from a Cakelicious store.
For sure.
For her to believe that cakes can be without egg too.
For sure.
Okay, now Shweta, coming back to you. Shweta, we know Speechcraft has gained its share of acclaim in this field of life skill training. So what are those specific techniques or tricks you use to teach your students? Because from what all you said, teaching how to speak is definitely a very, very difficult art, because everybody has their own thought pattern, their style, their way. And you said you teach both the children and the adults. So which group is more difficult to handle?
Okay, so too many questions, Meetu. First, I'll answer with the first question, which is that how do I go about in training? So speaking is a natural activity. We all do, we've all done it, and it's something which comes naturally to us because, nobody really teaches you how to speak, especially when it comes to your mother tongue. It comes to you naturally. But when you have to speak at a platform, or you have to speak on an occasion, or even if you just have to express yourself, how do you speak so that you become more impressive and impactful? That is something that is an art which needs to, which needs training. Now, there is no one rule that fits all because we are all individuals in our own way. And as Dale Carnegie says, that, we all have our own style of speaking because we are all different individuals. So I never really ask anyone to follow a beaten path, or you have to follow certain strictures. You have your own style speaking. Your style, Meetu, is so full of life and vivacious as you are, and your personality is reflected in your style. My style might be a little different. Meghna's would be different because she's a different individual. So the idea is that everyone speaks according to their individuality, yet is impressive and follows certain norms and rules which make for an effective speech. For example, there is this thought that your content is primary. So whatever you have to speak, the content is around which you speak. But research and survey says that your content is very small. It's just 7% of the entire impact of your speaking. So basically, it's not the content, but how you are speaking is more important than the what of speaking. So how are you conveying your ideas? What is your body language, your gestures, your postures, your facial expressions? How well are you using your voice? These are the things that really matter. So, how to teach those things so that every individual can speak in a more. Coming to your second question, whether it is the students or the grown-ups. Well, I enjoy both, honestly, but it's just that, in the formative years, it's easy because they're more malleable. You can, mold them. You can, it's easy for them to pick up, grasp things. So when the students come to me, I start, right from the beginning. And when we are dealing with professionals or grown-ups, then the biggest challenge with them is inhibition, because there is a certain amount of hesitation, and they don't how others will perceive them is a very important and a big concern for them.
That's true.
Right? So when they come to me, then probably we have to handle them more psychologically than anything else, because they have to be made comfortable, and then of course, what is their need? It's very important to understand what is the need. So some people may feel that they're not very comfortable with the language. So that is why there is a certain amount of hesitation or lack of fluency. So then we have to tell them that, language is just one part of it. You can speak in any language. I mean, it's not just that you have to converse in English. You can do a mix of both. And it's actually how you express, because when you speak to your friend, language never is a barrier. So making a good conversation is what is speaking all about. So that's the second aspect of it. The third, which I have recently introduced, is career counseling. Now, in my long journey again, I realized that students whom I was really interacting at the school level, and since I'm associated with a couple of schools here in Indore, I realized that, most of the children, it was a very, although there are so many options these days available to children, yet there is a certain stereotype here. If you're a good student, then you generally opt for science. If you want to go to UPSC, you opt for humanities. So there are some structured ideas that is generally followed. And then I realized that children never really give importance to the kind of personality they have, because in choosing your profession, it's very important to know yourself first. So what is your personality? What is your aptitude, your interest? And of course, then your aptitude. So it's a good mix of all these things. So once a child knows these things about themselves, then it's easy to make a right and informed choice. So this is when I realized that, yes, we need to counsel our children, because now that most of the children are so talented and gifted, they need to be hand-holded and shown the right direction, because otherwise, it's like they work so hard, they study so much, and yet they are groping in the dark because they don't know what is their final destination.
Absolutely. There's so much to learn from you, Shweta. I think we need an entire session to understand this public speaking part. But ladies, there's a lot of, I've learned so much about you in just a few minutes. And thanks for being so open. And now I will just shift to being a little more informal. Let's know each other a little more better. I have a very small rapid fire. Very quick, very short, but you guys have to make it interesting and enjoyable. Be candid, be yourself, and I am a very liberal quiz master, so just enjoy. Any of you wishes to start first, or should I pick? No one?
I think you should pick.
You pick.
I should pick. So I'm picking Meghna because I might get some points for being a good quiz master, and a Cakealicious cake is coming on my way. So Meghna, you're first. Let's be very quick and very candid. Meghna, what is the next one favorite thing you like to do when you're not baking?
Doing something creative. Maybe it's a painting or watercolor or something creative.
So Baker is also a painter. Great. How will you describe yourself in just 3 words?
Okay, so I guess creative, calm, and content.
That's so sweet. What do you think has been your biggest strength all through this journey?
Patience, I guess. Patience and keeping my cool.
Oh, absolutely, we can see that. Your calm is just reflecting through your answers. Awesome. Good job, Meghna. Okay, Shweta, can I come to you now?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So I guess you are a reader, no? You love to read?
Yes, I do.
Can you give us any one book which has actually helped you shape up positively?
Difficult to name one book, but
Name 2.
Experiments with Truth.
Oh, that's nice.
Yes, and I've read a lot of Osho as well, and I'm interested in spirituality. In fact, not only Osho, I'm following Eckhart Tolle as well. So I would say that a few self-help books also I would like to keep by my bedside. Yes.
That's amazing. So now tell us, when you hear the word woman, what does that mean to you?
I feel compassion, very important, and somebody who's a giver.
So true. So very true. What is that one thing that always challenges you?
Challenges me, I guess, my children and my husband.
That is straight from the heart.
Yes.
Well, very well done. Your rapid fire is over. They were really nice. Prachi, can I come to you now?
Yes.
Prachi, if you get a chance to make a documentary about anything in your life, what would that be?
Wow, that's a really nice question. I've not thought about it though.
Thank you
But
so much.
I would definitely like to make a documentary on a growth of a child and how his initial interests, maybe in painting or music, has actually ended up during the later parts of his life.
And I can vouch your documentary will be a super hit. Okay, looking back in your life, anything you think that you could have done differently?
I have no regrets.
That's it.
So I would absolutely not change anything that I would have done differently.
That's it. Because you've done everything so well. Okay.
Oh, thank you.
One biggest challenge you faced till now, that can be in personal life or in pertaining to your school, the education part. What has been the biggest challenge?
There have been a few, because when you actually get into something new and when you want to actually introduce something new in an already established industry, that is a challenge itself. So when you want to introduce a concept like STEAM education, or maybe a concept like forest school, that has been a little bit of a challenge, but yes, we've had very positive affirmations when it comes to even introducing new concepts. So apart from that, there has been no big challenges really.
But I think every new idea is always a challenge in the beginning.
Yeah, I mean that's a very normal thing in any industry. So every new idea has its own set of challenges.
Okay, thanks, Prachi. That was really nice.
Thank you.
Shruti, you are the last, and I hope you like my questions. What was the toughest decision you've ever made in your life?
Toughest decision was when I came to Indore, I got a very good job opportunity. The salary was really, really, very. I mean, even if I look at that salary, it is, I would say, one of the best paid jobs. It comes in that category. At that point of time, I decided to quit that and start my venture, 9 Squares Architects, because that particular agency went on pursuing me, that what was that reason for which you otherwise such kind of jobs are not available in Indore, and especially in our field, getting very good salaries is it's very, very rare. So at that point of time, leaving that, starting from scratch, and when I was so new in this city, and doing any venture, starting up with any venture, whatsoever the nature may be, with young children at home, husband away, so it gets very tricky. But I think that was the most challenging or decision I took at that point of time, and I'm really happy about it.
Yeah, I can say that now. I think that was the best decision you took. Okay, so what is that one thing which makes you feel very empowered?
Being a woman and having 2 daughters.
Absolutely. Daughters are right. What is that one compliment that you love the most when you get from others? Besides the beautiful Chappan Dukan, you must be getting it, because I get very awed when I go there. And when I came to know you made it, it was more inspiring.
I must say, I don't know what to say.
Because you get so many compliments. Every time you make a house, it's like, when people are happy, they really appreciate.
I think it is my attitude which is appreciated the most. I mean, of course, the qualities like sincerity, confidence, these are common things which a person must have. But one of my client, there was some problem. It was a residential bungalow, and there was some problem which was persisting, or maybe a set of problems which were persisting. And I asked her that, ma'am, please, I won't be able to come. I'm stuck up somewhere. So very beautifully, she said, no, ma'am, it's your attitude which solves all the problems. So why don't you please make it possible to come to the site so that the problems are sorted. It is your attitude which really helps things going. So I had really loved it.
I can agree to that, because even I have worked quite a lot with you, and actually, it is actually commendable. So, guys, my rapid fire is over. I thought I could have had more questions, but it's over, and you all, I think you all scored very well. So a big pat to each one.
Neetu, where's our gift hamper?
You'll get wait. Meghna is preparing, no? All the cakes which were there in the video will be sent to us. No, but seriously, it was much more fun than I had even expected. And thanks to all four of you for that. And I think this platform of She the Boss has brought us all a little more closer. And I'm hoping that our members will also know all of you a little more better now, so that we have interacted and we've learned so much about each other. And anyone wants to say something, or I end my session here? Shweta, you wanted to say something, right?
Thank you so much, Vicky, Flo, Ria, Meetu, Payal, and all the team members for this wonderful initiative that you've taken. I think it's a very, very novel idea that you all have given to the opportunity that you've given to all the Flow members. And I feel that since this is something that, is so relevant, because right now, since we are not having physical meetings, this is how we interact and, network with each other, which is an integral idea of the Flow organization. So I guess this is a lovely concept, and I congratulate all of you.
Thank you so much. And even I strongly believe that the visions and the achievements, what you have told, somewhere some might have a dream now to become an architect, to become an educationist, or a skill trainer, or a baker. So each one of you is an inspiration for others now. And we at Flow always aim to pull each other up, to support each other. And I remember that when we are strong, the people who see us become strong automatically. So thank you so very much. It was a pleasure to have all four of you today here at She the Boss, Vicky, Flo, and hope we'll meet soon. And I wish all the more success to all four of you. Thank you so very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
It was
Thank
really
you,
wonderful. Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you so
Meetu,
much.
and the entire team behind it.
Thanks, Shruti. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks,
It was really
Raj.
great listening to all of you, all your stories, and I'm sure we'll catch up soon.
Definitely, definitely.